What is going on, guys? This is Daniel, and a quarter through the NBA season, the Dallas Mavericks have been a nice surprise. They played very well despite Dirk getting older and they didn't get DeAndre Jordan in free agency. So here are a few of my observations. Let's get to it. Let's begin with offense. They love to go to a double drag screen or an early offense where the point guard receives a double drag screen, and this was very effective last year when they had Tyson Chandler rolling for alley-oops, and it's not as effective without him, but they still have Dirk popping for jumpers, allowing for spacing, and here you see Felton probe off of this and find Barea on the backdoor cut. When Dirk doesn't have an open shot off the pop, then watch how he'll seamlessly execute a pick and roll with Deron Williams, and this leads to a good shot. This time the Lakers will switch on this double drag screen, and Dirk is so good at taking advantage of this, they simply throw it to him and he shoots right over Lou Williams. But this play is nearly unrunnable when Dwight Powell is in Dirk's spot, as teams want to give Powell this jumper. In early offense, the Mavericks also love to go to pistol, a very common NBA set. A wing will set up a little higher than foul line extended. He'll either screen for the point guard or receive a pass from him, and here Matthews receives a pass from Barea and then executes a give and go with him. This time, instead of the give and go, Parsons will simply screen for the point guard, and this gets Felton a lane. Now, usually the point guard doesn't get a free lane to the basket, so the next option is the wing receiving a flare screen to the top, and here off of it, Parsons can flow into a pick and roll and then dish to Powell. Williams won't pass it to Matthews receiving the flare screen here. Instead, he'll get a ball screen from Dirk, who set the flare screen. This is good action, and it gets Dirk a J. This is another nice option right here. Instead of receiving the pass or setting a screen for Williams, watch how Matthews will simply sprint right into the flare screen in early offense and nail the three. But what sets the Mavericks apart from other teams who run pistol is their secondary action. So here they're about to flow into their flare screen option, and they won't get an immediate shot off of it. And watch how Felton is running to the corner. This is important. They will pass it to him, and then they will flow into another flare screen. This is their secondary option, and it gets Harris an open three. Again, no immediate shot, so they'll pass it to Parsons running to the corner. Felton gets a flare screen and an in-close shot. Moving on, and this is a nice set for a shooter. Watch Villanueva here. He'll receive a back screen, and it looks like he's out of the play. He stops moving, and then boom, he receives a pin down and nails a three. Look how involved Zaza is on this set. He'll set a back screen, receives the pass, execute a dribble handoff, and then set the pin down. All the misdirection can make it difficult for the opposing center to defend the pin down and help out, and here Parsons curls the pin down and scores inside. A nice Mavericks set here. It looks like a Deron Williams post-up, but this is simply decoy as they are setting up a double screen for Matthews on the weak side, and he gets wide open for a three. But I don't love this play because it is so easy to scout and blow up if the players know what's going on and the coaches communicate, and it's also a deliberate set, so here Lou Williams reads it the whole way and gets the steal. Watch how one of the Lakers' assistant coaches recognizes this play and yells it out. The Mavericks also love this screen-to-screener set for Dirk, which is just so effective. He sets a screen, then receives a screen along the baseline for the open J. Dirk is so deadly from mid-range, even if the play is defended well, he can still hit this shot. And here's a nice screen-to-screener set. Parsons will hit the high post, set a screen for Williams, and then receive a flare screen from Dirk for the open three. The Mavs' favorite out-of-timeout set is this weave action the Warriors made popular, where it's a weave into a pick and roll, and the Mavericks do a great job of spreading the floor off of this, making it very easy for the ball handler to kick out to shooters. It's an aesthetically pleasing set that is difficult to defend, and here again watch the great spacing and ball movement. What I don't like is this. Early in the game, the Mavericks are trying to get Matthews going, so they give him an isolation post-up without the decoy action, and there are better ways to get Matthews an open shot early in the game, and instead they get a horrible shot. This is probably my favorite baseline out of bounds play which the Warriors run. The first look is to Matthews in the corner if the defender falls asleep trying to get an open 3. They don't get it here and Parsons will run off a double screen, and then watch how this flows as Parsons will hit Zaza, screen for the inbounder Williams who hits an open J. This time, Parsons will catch the defense off guard by not running off the double screen, instead slipping it right to the basket for a layup. One of my favorite actions in the offense is when Dirk is used as a screener. Here he sets a back screen and then pops out and is wide open. And this time when Terrence Jones stays home on Dirk, that frees up Felton coming off the screen. Something the Mavs do better than maybe any other team in the NBA is utilize flare screens in the flow of the offense, not in pistol or in a set play, but when the offense is in freelance mode, setting a flare screen to free up an open 3. Powell does this well and so does Dirk, and it's really good action to get an open jumper. Watch Dirk on this play as he'll set 2 flare screens in a row, and the second one will get Harris a layup after he curls it to the basket, and a nice pass from Felton to find him. This is the effect of Dirk screening, as Harris will get an open layup because Brewer does not want to help off of Dirk. If Brewer drops low, Dirk can simply pop out for the open jumper. Defense. Defense. Let's highlight Zaza for a minute as he does a great job of rotating, and here off the pick and roll, perfect rotation, forcing the Jones miss. This time he'll step up nicely on the drive and then aggressively recover to Jones, and his activity helps force the turnover. I wasn't expecting to, but I've actually been impressed with Deron Williams' defense. He does a nice job of staying in front of his man here, getting a jump ball. He shows good instincts. This time he'll help the helper and drop low, forcing the turnover. And tremendous anticipation here, reading the passing lane to get the steal, and then he goes in and nails the floater. But he gets pretty lazy here, putting in minimum effort to chase Russell around the double screen. One thing that I don't like the Mavericks do is help one pass away when the ball goes to the middle. It's clearly instructed, and Carlisle is a great coach, but I disagree on him here. It simply gives up too many easy catch and shoot threes, and here you see Williams help one pass away and then wildly jump, falling for a Beverly pump fake. The better way to do this is simply not allow middle penetration in the first place, but if it happens, rotate a big man, not a wing off a shooter. But this is the worst right here. Villanueva helps one pass away off a corner shooter. Another thing I really don't like is Dwight Powell's defense. He's not very strong and he doesn't really provide much resistance, especially on a face-up attack, and at times he's a serious liability out there, and here he makes David Lee look like an all-star again. His post defense is arguably worse. If he goes up against a strong player, he gets bulldozed on a regular basis. And one reason he struggles is because he only has a 6'11 wingspan. Here, if his arms were a bit longer, he might be able to block that shot, but instead Okafor scores easily. 6'11 is below average for a guy his size, and it prevents him from being able to contest shots well. And his rim protection is pretty bad as well, and here he provides no resistance. This time he's late rotating and then wildly goes for the block attempt, allowing his man to get the putback. The strange thing is, according to advanced metrics, Powell rates as a good defender, so maybe I'm missing something, but to me he didn't pass the eye test, and he's a guy I'd attack if I'm in offense and he's on the floor. Well, thanks for watching, and see you next time.